Coach Corn. Before we go to Coach Corn, I'm just going to invite people to just good morning, Brad. How are you?
Good morning, breakfast buddies. How are y'all? Missed you the last couple of days, or actually just last day, right? The weekend came in and I got sidetracked. I didn't make it onto the call. I looked at the clock. It was 7:30. I was like, oh man, I missed them. So I did miss you guys yesterday. So yeah, habits. I think Gary Keller did the best on putting habits in perspective and just kind of throwing some stuff on the table that people have heard when they're focusing on habits, like 21 days to a habit. And I know there's a great book out there, The One Thing, and it's literally a business book for anyone in business. And Gary Keller likes to do a lot of research and really dig into things and find the commonalities and pull those together in his books. And he did that with the real estate industry, where he found, the blueprint to make $1 million at real estate by interviewing 28 people that had made $1 million and put all these, we always say herding cats. I've heard Don say that so many times. When you're trying to get realtors to put a common thread together, it's like herding cats. And Gary can sift through all that stuff and see the commonalities, and he pulled together the what everybody called everything something different, and he got it all into one bucket and figured out what the formula was. So he did the same thing with the One Thing, where he basically has taken stuff from all of that research, from researching investors in the Millionaire Investor and all the other stuff, and he wrote the One Thing, and he talked about habits. And it's 60, what they have figured in the study is that it's actually 66 days to a habit. But yet, when you really, really break it down, I mean, it's not 21 days. If it was 21 days to a habit, then everybody would be in the gym past January 21st, right? If it was 66 days to a habit, that everybody would stay in the gym until March, right? January, February, March. They'd be in the gym till March because you'd start losing weight. So it's different for everybody. And I think what I found is that it's 21 days to even get to the 66 days that can actually create a habit, if there's a habit that you really want to get in place. And again, the layer under that, I believe too, is you got to be passionate about why you want this habit and where is it taking you, right? And then the second phase of that is you got to get to 66 days if you want it to be a habit. So you got to get to the 21 days first, and then you got to make it to 66, and then you might have another 660. I won't go the other way. 660 days before you get to really have it core. So habits are not easy, or we'd all have the habits in place that we need to get where we're going and what our vision is of why we want that habit in our life. So one of the things that helped me, and it did start with Michelle sharing, Dave's book, and I'm telling you, those systems and putting those in place and getting everything out of your head so you can actually, oh, hopefully I'm not cutting out on you guys. Looks like I might have a poor internet connection. You guys still hear me okay? Crystal clear. Oh, cool. I had my little red bar pop up. So, with David Allen and the buckets, and I started creating systems. Well, that led to a system, and this is what I want to share with you guys real quick, is the system to make sure my habits happen every day. And I'm going to put it real simply. I mean, it is campaigns or action plans. And the best way I can define that is something where you can set up a series of events that when you hit the start button, it will send out reminders however you set those events up to flow. And I run my life through my database. And I would say most databases, most contact management systems have a campaign or action plan type feature where you can have five things happen. When you hit the start button on this campaign, that it's going to say on day zero, remind me to make a phone call or to write a handwritten note. That's what mine is, right? I've got an 8-step plan that I put in place in every person I meet. And I'll bring this back to real life too. So if I meet somebody, I get them in my database, because if they're in my head, they're just going to get lost in that swimming pool of whatever that is, right? Craziness. I go out and I create chaos every day because my mind has got everything out of my head into my database, if you want to call it, to keep it so I don't lose it, right? So I meet somebody really cool, get them in my database, and I start this 8-step plan. And the system tells me on day 0, remind me, just pop up on the screen and say, did you send this person a note? And then 7 days later, it will send an email. It says, hey, it was great meeting you. And it just sends that out automatically. 7 days after that, it prints off a letter or something that I can drop in the mail to them. Maybe it's like an inspiration story or something like that, depending on who the person is. And then 7 days after that, it pops up again on my screen and says, hey, it's been 4 weeks since you talked to this person that was so cool that you wrote the note to. Give them a call. And so it just processes through all the different things I want to do. Like the next one, I'll do find them on social media. So I start connecting with people on social media all over the place. So what happens is I come in every morning and I open up my database and I go to my task list and everything's in there. So if it's something for life, for example, that I need to do, I'll open up my own name in my own database and I'll attach a campaign to it. I'll give you an example of this to make sure, like my social media campaign. If you want to have a habit of consistently contributing to social media, I actually have a social media drip plan that has, and I hope I can explain this well while you guys are just listening in listening mode, right? But it is literally 7 emails. Just picture 7 different emails. The first email says post on social media, and it has a link to my Facebook page. Now, so I can keep my mind clear and not waste time looking for logins and passwords for some of the other sites I'm about to mention. But it'll say Facebook, and it's the link, so it comes to me in an email. I put myself on this plan. I click the link, and there's my login and password. The next one below that says photo bucket. And I love using this as an example because who the heck remembers photo bucket when it first came out? I don't even know what the purpose of photo bucket is, but what I did was I wanted to create a social media consistent habit of feeding different things. So I found 21 of the social media sites that seem to be getting talked about all the time at the time I created this plan. So I put 3 in the first email, 3 more in the second email, 3 more in the third email, 3 more in the fourth email. I created 7 emails with 21 links with logins and passwords because right now I wouldn't even be able to tell you what my photo bucket login password is unless that email came to myself. Now what happens is day 0, the first one comes out. Post on Facebook, post on photo bucket, and do something on LinkedIn. 3 days later, the second email comes out automatically. It just shows up in my inbox and it says, go to Instagram, go to this, go to that. And it just rotates through. And at the end of 21 days or however long that thing runs, I think it's like a month or something. It's every 3 days. I hit 21 sites. It says the plan's over, start it over again. So I just started over again. And as long as that email comes in, I just click those buttons. I'm really just totally taking the thought process out of it. I'm posting anything and everything that's on there. And that is how I create habits, by creating campaigns and action plans. So I know I got really technical. I just came out of this little nice breakfast aura. I could smell the bacon as it was sitting on the table, and the butter just smelled awesome going on that toast. And then what did I do? I threw in I don't know what I threw in, the veggies.
Coach Corn. Of course, Coach Corn would throw in the veggies. But you know what? I mean, those are awesome. And a lot of us never get to the point of, let's call it appetizing our breakfast table, ha ha ha, with apps and things that actually do streamline our day and make us more efficient. I bet we're going to hear a lot of people who do have, apps that they've habitualized to help them. I mean, even if you think about it, dating apps. That's something that makes life more efficient. And, it is habitual for the person that's looking for that special someone in their life, but it saves time. You're not, trying to go out and golf here and spin there and, join a theological discussion there looking for, your special someone. It's all potentially right there on an app. I mean, to me, that's that's a habit for success if you're looking for your special person, right? And Coach Corn, we love, every time you come up and you share your processes, because I think of you as the process king. So I'd have a little crown on you if we had like color forms, which was something we had back in the day where I could just put it on your head right now on the app. And with that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask Tony if he's still there, if he's here to reset the room before we move over to Bridget. Tony, are you there and able to reset?
I am. So, good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, we have a few more people joining us, which is great. Thank you for being here.